Hey, if you want to support the podcast and you also want to get some free internet thingies, stay for the end of the episode to hear how you can win a free digital dice set.
Hi there, I'm Oma.
March.
Trya.
Kellogg.
Flynn.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had exited a burning building within the city of Addersfeld. You guys had left with a couple of mysterious potions and a pendant that seemed to belong to a member of the Kaldur military. Olma and Flynn, you guys had split off from the rest of the group, leaving March in your dust as you guys went to this magic shop and discovered that these potions were potions of Silver Tongue that would give you guys a little bit of a boost when trying to convince people of things or trying to deceive. The rest of you guys had headed back to the Deep Drowl Inn, and some of you guys had decided to relax a little bit. Others had decided to fall into some prayer and try and divine some answers from the things that were going on around them. Flynn had actually picked up a handy little trinket that was different than the potions, a hand that would repeat a task that was given to it, and he quickly put that hand to use as he got back to the Deep Drowl Inn and played some pranks on Trya, giving him a not-so-wet willy. After a night of rest and after sort of getting your guys' bearings within the city, having really the first night of rest within a city that you guys have had together, you guys decided that your best course of action was to follow the lead of these crystals and go back to Blackpool, where Olma and March had originally found these crystals. So you guys headed off out of the city. You guys met up with the river that you guys had taken to the city, and you guys had found there stationed the boat that you guys had docked there, still there and ready for you guys to use. You guys hopped on and you guys rowed it down the river for a little while, fishing along the way. After maybe an hour or two, you guys began to see smoke rising on the horizon, this deep, black, thick smoke rising up near the river. As you guys got closer and closer, you guys discovered that a battle had broken out at Coldcrest Outpost. There were fires raging everywhere. There are cannons going off back and forth. There's a ship within the river that seems to be that of Kaldurian make. And you see soldiers firing these cannons and attempting to get onto these smaller boats and attempting to dock onto this beach where an unsuspecting Coldcrest Outpost is fighting back. As you guys are moving down along this river, Kellic, you specifically know that the bulk of the troops that were stationed at Coldcrest had moved up north a couple days beforehand, just before you had left Coldcrest Outpost, because a skirmish had broken out along the river up north. Now the soldiers that remain there are all injured and weary and tired, and there isn't a substantial fighting force there. So as you guys approach, Caleb, you would get a little bit of a better understanding of this, but the rest of you guys would see that on the beach there is sort of a sandy beach section that opens up. It's about 60 feet of sand before it gets to this steep rock cliff that comes up into more of the grassy hill area. A pretty well-fortified position with this cliff here. There is a path and a trail down, however. You can see Commander Vash and a couple troops up on top of this cliff, commanding left and right. You can see to the left of him, a couple of stone walls have been resurrected, probably from some of the magic users here having cast stone wall to give themselves a fortified position and reaching out from behind this wall to cast spells at this ship. You can see down on the beach area itself these cannons. You can see only about 5 of them are set up at this point, but each one is manned by two people. Most of the soldiers on the beach side are human, half-orc. You can see some half-elves in there as well, firing these cannons at the ship. you can see two smaller boats that have broken off of this main ship that carried a couple soldiers onto land. You can see these dwarven soldiers have now buried their shields deep within the sand and are holding themselves against these shields as a barrage of arrows and spells come firing at them. You can see on the ship a ton of soldiers, maybe about 50 to 100 soldiers on this ship, ready to dock onto this beach and completely storm it. So as you guys are riding down this river, you guys can pretty much see three paths in front of you. You guys can stay the course and continue going along this smaller river that meets up with the main larger river that the ship is on, and you guys can cut it close, but you guys can try and skim past the ship and try to avoid the battle. It'll be the quickest route to where you guys want to go, but it will take you very close to the danger. You guys also have another choice. You guys can go off to the right. You guys can steer the boat off to the right and completely avoid the battle. It's going to be a lot more difficult for the participants in the battle, the soldiers, to see you. So you will be dipping up north, and it will take you substantially longer to get to where you want to go, as you will have to travel by foot in that case. You also have a third option, is to dock the boat right here and now and meet up with the soldiers of Ondale and Commander Vash and see what's going on. As you guys are approaching this battle, you guys only have a couple minutes to decide what you would like to do. So, with that being said, what would you guys like to do?
How close are we to the medical tent and like or can I see Jarnen anywhere?
Yeah, so make a perception check to see Jarnen. Off on your left right now, it's real easy to see. You guys are actually passing the camp directly on your left right now. All of the soldiers from the camp have moved their position up and onto the beach. So the camp is pretty much cleared, and everyone is battling on the beach now.
Okay, that's a 11.
An 11. You look out, and it's actually not that difficult to see him. He is down on the beach section. He's not up on this little cliff ledge area. He is down on the beach, and he is currently in the process of dragging another one of these wounded soldiers back from one of these cannons. It seems that he got hit by a couple arrows that have been fired off from the bow of the ship.
Okay. What y'all think? What's our best course of action here?
What's happening? Oh my god! It's all on fire!
We need to help them.
This is war, Alma.
You want us to go in there?
We can't leave these people.
Why not?
Because when we left, this is not what was happening when we left.
But Kelly just said this is war, and I'm not in a war, so maybe they can be in a war.
This is a valid point, Alma.
Well, what can we do, guys? Come on, they're clearly busy.
We can try to put a stop to the fight. I mean, we've got quite a formidable force.
But then the fight's just gonna happen again another time. They're just gonna keep fighting. It's not like we can stop that.
The young one has a point. I, for one, am no fan of taking part in the squabbles of the civilizations in this world.
There was a time when I would be more adamant about docking here, but
I have a paddle
I
in
don't
my
know
hand
where I
and I am
stand.
rowing in the opposite direction. And anybody can stop me
Okay.
if they want to, but I am paddling.
Kelly,
away.
isn't your friend there? Jarnen? Don't you want to help him?
I look over to where Jarnen's dragging the body of this soldier. Can I tell how he looks, DM?
Yeah, make an insight check. Make that at disadvantage because you guys are still pretty far away.
Also, I don't know if I can make some kind of check, but can I look to see if they're winning or losing? I don't know if you mentioned that. Does it look like they're getting overwhelmed?
Yeah, I'm going to have you also make an insight check.
As a 9.
That's a 9. Yeah, his face is kind of down in a way, and he's just dragging this injured soldier. You can't really see what's going on.
10 total for the insight to see how they're doing battle-wise.
You're not exactly sure the spirits of the soldiers, but you can see just from a numbers standpoint, there are easily 4 to 5 times the amount of soldiers who are about to come off of the boat than there are who are fortified on the beach.
Paddle, paddle, paddle.
He's my friend, Flynn. But it's a war. This is the nature of it. When I was stationed at Coldcrest, it was understood that we were in danger. This is the war front.
So let them fight it. Let them fight amongst themselves. When the dust settles, nature will take its course. The land will heal.
What happens if they take this spot, Shreya, and then they go into the Shattered Timberlands and take the spot that you grew up? They kill Farlane. They take over that camp.
What?
And then they go to Addersfeld and they do the same.
What interest would these bickering civilizations have in going into unkempt wilderness? The wilderness shall always remain.
Shreya, that wilderness is capped by Eldoria. The people here, and I gesture broadly to the ships. They don't want those woods to belong to Eldoria.
Alma,
Paddle, 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 paddle.
this is the camp that brought you up, woke you back up. Jarnen was the one that helped resuscitate you, and you're gonna leave him to die?
I appreciate that from him.
But now he's going to die, and you don't want to help him.
I just don't see what I could do. I'm not a soldier.
Yeah, but we're strong together.
No, I am weak.
No, you're not.
I'm not very strong at all, and I don't think I belong here. And I've got a thing to do. I mean, what about the prison crystals? What if we die here and we're the only ones who know about the prison crystals? You know, like, think of the big thing. All this stuff going on and no one knows but us.
So we'll be safe.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say we'd be safe. No one knows. So if we die here,
We won't die here.
what's gonna happen to the prison crystals?
We won't die here.
Kayla,
We dock here and we talk to Jarnen. And we see what...
Talk? You're gonna talk to a man who's fighting in a war? You can't just talk to a man who's fighting in a war. He doesn't have time for you, Flynn.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he needs help right now. He's dragging a body.
That's not the commander.
That's I don't want to talk to the commander. I want to talk to Jarnen. I know Jarnen.
Could convince the commander to surrender.
Or we can retreat.
Kayla, has this particular post been attacked like this before?
Not like this.
But it's been attacked in smaller groups before?
Yes, just to some extent, skirmishes. This is the line that was held. So, lots of small battles and outgoing parties of fighters.
So it seems this time now they have sent almost an entire militia simply
Well,
to...
I'm not a tactician, but not so long ago, Coldcrest sent most of its fighting force up north. So, it's vulnerable, as you can see. I'm gonna stop almost paddling and start pushing us toward docking.
I'm gonna look at Alma and just say, these people helped to save us. We can't leave them. Even if it's a small situation, even if we help for 2 minutes, we have to at least do something small and minute. Try and help them in some way, the same way that they helped us.
You're all crazy. Every single one of you is crazy. What am I even doing here?
I know how you feel, Alma. Paddle, paddle, paddle.
How am I to pick sides in a conflict that I know nothing about?
Try it. We're not picking a side. Just gonna try to reduce the harm done. That's my goal here. If I can help Jarnen, I will.
Then we are fighting at cross purposes with the people who are waging the war.
The people waging this war, they want to change the world. Lives don't matter to them. If they get their change without bloodshed, then they'll be sated. I have to assume.
Do you have a preferred victor in this skirmish?
I would... I don't know.
Don't know? You have no alignments yourself? You know what's the term? Dog in the fight? Is that
Sure,
How-
it's an idiom.
it's referred to?
I can't tell you, Shreya. It's complicated. The world is changing, and we have to decide how we respond to that.
Well,
And
All I know is, I know Jarnen, and he's in trouble. So I'm gonna go help him.
You know Jarnen? You don't know Jarnen. You just met him like for 2 minutes.
He's a nice person, and that's enough for me.
the little one always sees the best in people. Ugh.
All right, so as you guys are approaching this camp closer and closer, now the cannons are almost becoming deafening as each of the blasts rattles you guys, and you can sort of feel your insides shake. And at this point now, you can hear people shouting and commands coming from each side as movements of the soldiers are being shouted out by each side's commanders.
how does Vash look, DM? Does he look like he is still trying to fight to the bitter end, or does he look like he's trying to figure out a way out?
I'm going to have you make another insight check to sort of see where he's at.
22.
Nice.
22. He looks frantic at this point. He is definitely still commanding his troops. He is shouting orders left and right. But you can tell just by the way that he is you can't exactly make out what he's saying just because of the battle and everything going on. But you can tell by his hand gestures and sort of the way that he's moving. He's preparing. He's sort of like trying to hold the position. He is definitely not going on the offensive, but he is trying to get his men to hold for as long as they possibly can. He doesn't seem to be backing out of this fight anytime soon.
Okay. Well, I hope I didn't mess up things on his battle map, and that's why we're in this situation. And then, can we tie up the boat anywhere, or is it just we're just pulling it up onto the shore?
There's a beach right to your left, and you can just dock it there. You can just beach it there.
I'm gonna rush toward Jarnen if we're on land.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
As you guys are moving out towards Jarnen, I will give you guys a little bit of a better look of what you guys are approaching on this map here. All right, so you guys now have a full view of this battle that's going on. You can see up on the hill, you can see Vash speaking with some of his higher ups in the military up on this hill. You can see spellcasters behind their walls, also up on this cliff. You can see that the cliff extends for most of the way, but then there is a little bit of a path down to the beach where soldiers have been moving back and forth. Down on the beach, there are a couple of rocks that provide a pretty good cover, but the rest of the cover is being provided by more of these stone walls. These cannons, each of them are being operated by at least 2 gunners, one of them firing and one of them loading and aiming. You can now see the 2 boats that are docked with dwarven soldiers, their shields deep in the sand, holding their position. And you can see all of the soldiers up on the boat, itching for a fight, ready to walk out on this platform that is now being moved out from the boat onto the beach. You guys can also see on this ship itself, it's a pretty big ship, but the entire left side of it has been fortified with iron and metal, and it is pretty much deflecting all of these cannon shots with ease, as they have created this sort of armor, this dwarven armor on the outside of the boat itself. So that is what you guys see. As you guys walk up, you guys are entering this conflict sort of up on top of the hill up here, and you guys can see that Jarnen is down sort of on the beach trying to drag one of the other soldiers away. So with this, where would you guys like to go?
Flynn is just gonna follow Kellick's lead. So I'm just gonna follow you, and if you run up to Vash, I'll run up with you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And as you guys are approaching, you do see Vash beginning to walk over towards the spellcasters who are hiding behind these stone walls, casting from up top. He seems to be trying to tell them a new tactic as he runs over there frantically.
Yeah, I'll scramble. As Jarnen looks to be relatively safe. Yeah, from the corner of my eye as we're rushing up.
Yeah, he seems to not be in the direct line of fire, as one of these stone walls is sort of protecting him on that side.
To Vash.
Okay. And you can see at this point he's barking orders at these spellcasters, and he's saying,
"Now I'm going to need you all to aim for the cannons. That seems to be their weak spot. Can you do that?"
And they all sort of turn around, and you can see sort of panic in their eyes. Yes, I believe we can do that. And they sort of readjust their aim towards the cannons on the ship.
Commander, you're not going to like this, but you're going to have to withdraw.
What are you doing here? I told you to leave. You have no place here.
I can see you don't need the extra hands. What are you still doing out here? Look at the force on those boats. You think you can stand to handle that?
We are holding our position until reinforcements arrive.
And when will that be?
At this moment, I cannot tell you that, but we are tasked with holding our position.
Why? What's so important about this outpost that you risk all these men's lives?
Son, you do not understand the technicalities of war. If they take over this outpost, they will have a direct line to Addersfeld. And we cannot allow that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to commanding my men.
These men aren't long for this world if you stay in command.
He begins to turn and walk away from you.
Bastard. I hate this bloody place. I'm gonna move down to Jarnen. If I don't know what the gang's up to.
Yeah, I'll go with Kellic. Flynn will go with Kellic.
Okay. So you guys move down this path. As you guys move past this group of soldiers that were originally speaking with Commander Vash, although he had moved away, you guys move past this group, and you can see they're sort of huddled around a couple of these heavy bags. And you, as you guys are passing them, you sort of look, and you can see that they are trying to pack these explosives into these bags themselves.
Does it look like something you would put in the cannons to shoot, or does it look different?
Looking down at the cannons themselves, it doesn't look like cannonballs. They actually, the size of them are smaller, so they wouldn't even really fit in a cannon.
Go ahead.
No, please.
As we run by, can I kind of yell out to them like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
We're closing off the path. We're going to try and block them in and keep the cliff as a stronghold. We're gonna blow up the path up here if we can get these explosives in line.
I will look over to Flynn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's an idea.
That's an idea.
I would stay behind the soldiers. I would not get in front of them.
Okay.
Yep. And I would probably be between the soldiers and the spellcasters.
Okay.
Yeah. My immediate reaction is going to be where Olma goes, I go.
I'd probably hang back with Olma.
Okay. So Flynn, as you're passing them, they also say, "We don't know how long this will hold them, but we're trying to get these explosives set up so that we can at least hold them for a few minutes while we regroup."
How big of an explosion will that make?
Pretty big. It should be enough to close off the pass.
What if we took it and put it on the boat?
You would have to get close enough to the boat to do that, and we don't have the resources to do that at the moment.
How many of these charges would it take to take the boat out?
Looking at what we have here, you would really only need one or two of them to put a sizable dent in the boat, enough to sink it, probably. And you look down and you can see that they've got 6 of these bags, sort of these satchels that are filled with these explosives. You can see each of them has its own fuse to it. And so they're saying basically you would need probably 2 of these satchels.
To blow up like a hole big enough to start sinking the ship.
Before it started taking on water.
Do you mind if I take 2 of them?
To go blow up the ship?
Yeah, maybe if I can find a way to do it. If not, I'll bring them back.
Make a persuasion check. As this soldier here, you can see it. He looks to be a half elf, and as you're having this conversation, he's sort of glancing over at Vash, who is not in this group right now, sort of seeing, oh, can Vash hear? Like, you can see he thinks that it might be a good idea, but those are not his orders. You said it's a straight
roll, or is it disadvantaged?
No, just straight roll.
Persuasion, you said?
Persuasion.
That's a +0, so I got a 10.
A 10. He says, "You'll bring them back if you figure out it doesn't work,
of course.
Right?
Yeah. I'm here to help.
Okay, take them.
How big are they?
But take them quick. I can't have him seeing. This is gonna slow your speed down to about half. With both of these satchels. One of them would be tough to carry. 2 of them you're probably going to be dragging a little bit. But you would be able to do it. You'd just be slower.
I reach down, I grab one with one hand, one with the other, and I start like backwards walking and pulling them along. Like, all right, Kellic, let's go. And I'm like, ugh,
I'm
pulling
already
them along
real
as we like.
Wow, that conversation.
And I turn around. He's like, oh,
yeah.
Like try and move slowly a little bit faster.
Flynn, as you are dragging these explosives down this path onto the beach, Kellic, you run up and you meet with Jarnen, who is still attempting to pull this body back up onto the hill.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the body, and grab whatever other side of it, and hoist it with him.
Kellic, it's good to see you here.
Jarnen, you seem well.
Could be doing better.
Yeah. Well, when did this happen? Is it just this morning? How long have you been at it out here?
Just this morning. This hasn't been going on for very long. They seem to come down from the north. They seems like they're trying to catch us by surprise. Could you help me bring this up to the hill?
Of course.
This body? Okay. And you guys continue dragging.
I'm gonna look at the body. How's the soldier?
He's like trying to grip his leg. You think Jarnen probably told him to like try and just squeeze his leg pressure as much as possible to keep the pressure on as he's doing that, and he's as you guys are dragging him.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to like take the weight off of that wound and elevate it as we move.
Okay.
I see Flynn struggling with the bags, and I turn to March and I say, March, maybe you should go help Flynn.
Where you stay right here. Yes, I agree. But you stay right here. Like very like it's like okay.
Yeah,
my reaction is very like a little overprotective, or kind of that thing where I'm not sure exactly how Oma would look at me, but it would almost garner an Oma like really, of course I'm staying here kind of reaction. And then I'm happy to run over. Flynn, what's going on? What's the plan? What are you thinking?
Oh, hey, March. Gonna try and blow up the boat with these somehow. I don't know, but I figured it was a cool idea, so I'm just going with it. Got a hand?
And DM, we were able to see that the cannons were doing nothing because of what the ship is made out of, correct?
Yeah, you can see a thick armor of iron and steel on this side of the ship. The cannons are hitting; they're making solid shots, but they don't seem to be doing any damage to the ship itself. As you are dragging these down, I'm actually going to need, Shreya, Olma, March, and Flynn, everyone except Kellic, to make dexterity saving throws for me. As a couple of cannonballs are fired in your direction, and you guys need to see if you can get out of the way. Kellic, you are now down on the beach with Jarnen beginning to drag this body. You are covered on pretty much all sides by these stone walls and the rocks that are here on the beach.
Dexterity saving throw, you said?
Dexterity saving
17 for Olma.
Nice.
Flynn also got a
That's
17.
14. Nice.
19
Okay.
For me.
So you guys all see these cannons on the ship seem to be firing pretty much in unison, probably from commands within the ship to all fire at the same time. But you guys all hear the cannons go off at the same time and immediately look over to the ship as you guys see the cannonball whizzing towards you. They all impact about 6 or 7 feet away from you guys. Dirt and sand blast up into your faces, but you guys are able to jump back in enough time to not be damaged by anything.
Arch, are you okay?
Really quick, Flint. Are you seeing? You're seeing the shields on the ship, right? So what's the plan? How do you think you're going to be able to get these there?
Well, the soldiers up there said that these are going to blow up the whole ridge, and they said that if we use 2 of them, we might be able to blow up the ship. I don't know how we're going to get them up there, but I figured maybe, I mean, now that you're here, you could probably just toss them up on top of the ship, and they blow up right in the center.
I appreciate your gung-ho attitude about my abilities, but I'm still going to be walking along with Flynn as I'm kind of contesting and contemplating, like, exactly how this is going to work. But Flynn, I was just hoping we had a little bit of a better idea as to how we think we're going to do this.
I don't really know. I'm kind of just going with it. I mean, I know Shreya being able to fly would help, but I don't want to put him in danger. Maybe we just blow up the walkway that's bringing him down and force him to kind of be stuck on the ship.
Let's start there and see how that works. But you said they think 2 would blow up 1 ship, so then in that case maybe we would just try 1?
Maybe just 1. Yeah, we can maybe try and get 1 to the walkway and blow that up so they can't get down here.
Let's do it.
How?
I'm gonna look over to Olma and I'm gonna say,
What kind of machinery are they employing to make such awful explosions?
I don't know. It kind of looks like they have cannons, like we do, and that they're like sending big bombs to us.
and I look up toward the boat, the big ship. Do they have colors? Like, do they have? No, I mean like flag colors. They have flags and like colors of nations.
Yeah, you look up to this ship and you can see on top of this huge mast that is currently keeping the ship moving in the right direction. You can see a blue, like this deep navy blue flag flying that symbolizes the nation of Kaldur.
Gotcha. Is there any symbolism on it, or is it just these deep, like, swatches of color, like?
Yeah, you can see the symbol of Kaldur, which has very similar symbology to the pendant that you guys have of the military soldier. It's all very similar symbology.
Okay, great.
Is anything on fire in the camp?
Yes, as you guys look past Olma, if you look in the direction of these spellcasters, you can see just past them the ruins of what used to be probably the lookout post, this large wooden structure that, Kellic, you know this, at one point raised high up above this cliff, giving whoever was there a great perspective on either side of the river, see what was coming. It is now completely collapsed and in flames. Black smoke rising up from the flames. This is probably the main source of the smoke that you guys were seeing on approach.
I'm gonna make my way over there, and I'm gonna slowly try to, extinguish the flame as little bit as I can at a time. I can do that. I can extinguish flame within a 5-foot cube every action. So every 6 seconds, I can extinguish another cube of fire.
Okay. Awesome. So, Olma, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me as you approach this thing. Six. As you approach, it seems to be a big wooden thing on fire. All right, so this is how we're going to do this. With you taking out the fire, I am going to have everyone roll initiative. As you guys are, Flynn and March, as you guys are taking these explosives down to the beach. Kalik, as you're helping Jarnen with this wounded soldier. And Olma, as you are dousing these flames, I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
Of course I roll up.
That's an 11 for Kellic.
All right, Kalik got an 11.
7 for Flynn.
Okay.
17 for Olma.
17 for Olma. Shreya, what did you get?
Nice.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Olma and Shreya, who would like to go first?
You can go first, Raya.
Okay.
Okay. As I look,
just real
13.
quick.
Just quick,
What March? What's your initiative? Okay, and then I'm gonna need to roll some initiative. of My own.
You're fine. You
There's
really
only
don't
like
need
40 people on the boat.
You know, I'm taking in what you guys are saying, and I think I'm gonna just do it anyways.
I think I'm still gonna roll.
And okay. All right. Perfect. First up in the initiative is Shreya. Shreya, you see March and Flynn dragging these explosives down. You see Olma to your left, trying to douse these flames, and you see Kalik helping Jarnen pull this wounded soldier up onto the hill. You can see cannons, these 5 cannons down on the beach going off, and you can see the return fire from the ship. You can also see these 5 dwarves who have actually made their way onto the beach and are sort of holding their position. With seeing all of this absolute and utter chaos, your ears ringing from the cannon blasts, and everything on your insides is vibrating from the blast of the cannons. What would you like to do?
From the last cannon blast, I kind of shake all of my feathers out, really like just uncomfortable, and sort of wince a little bit. Look toward the ship. One more quick context question. The banners and colors of the flag, is that anything I would have seen before in my ancestral homeland? Or is that just concentrated to the war fronts?
Make a history check for me.
Sure. That is a 10.
So you're thinking about specifically where you are from, not really in your
yes,
travels.
like from.
Yeah. Let me see. No, this flag you would.
I would
not
have never seen.
recognize.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, I kind of mutter to myself. The fortifications on the boat, they kind of make seeing onto the ship very difficult, correct? Like from this
so the iron armor that the ship has, it sort of comes up on the side of the boat and sort of reaches up to where the banisters are on the ship. Doesn't really raise too much higher off of that. Sort of the main difficulty of seeing onto the ship is that the banisters raise up to just about where dwarven shoulder height would be. So that's really the only difficulty in seeing onto this ship. But from the top of this cliff, you can get a pretty good perspective on all of the soldiers on the boat.
Does it look like they're doing anything up there other than loading cannons and firing them?
You can see that there are a couple of dwarves at the front of the ship who are firing off arrows. And then sort of in the main bulk of the ship, you can see a dwarven commander standing there with, it looks like 2 sort of legions of dwarven soldiers. And he is barking commands, getting them riled up. And you can see these dwarves sort of hyping themselves up as they're about to storm the beach.
And as I think to myself,
Never liked dwarves and their domineering ways.
I start to get a little bit more agitated, and I take off. My wingspan goes wide, and I push off from the ground, and I'm going to start to fly overhead to kind of get a better view overhead of the dwarves on the boat, on the ship.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use all my movement to go in that direction.
Okay. How much flight movement do you have?
60 feet.
Okay.
60 feet. Flying. On a PC.
So you fly out over the cliff. You fly out directly over where Kalik and Jarnen are dragging this body, and you fly directly over one of these stone walls, and now you are directly above the beach itself. And you're high enough up in the air, both with the way that you have decided to fly over here and with the added elevation that the cliff already gave you. You have a great perspective over everything that's happening in this battle right now.
Great.
You can see all troop movements at this point.
I'm going to just, as I'm in the air, just put my hand on a javelin, like in a ready position, but I'm not attacking anyone.
Okay. All right. With that, Olma, it is your turn. So you are over by the flames. What would you like to do?
So my goal is to put out the base of the flame in hopes that it'll get smaller as I go. So a 5-foot cube right at the base, if I can try to identify where I think the source of the main fire is coming from. I know it's probably all the wood is on fire at this point, but try to identify a great place and put it out.
Okay. Yeah, there is a great place right in front of you. It seems like there is sort of a bunching of wood there that has caught fire and is like most intense right at that point. So you can disperse that. Is that a roll for you, or does that just happen?
It just happens.
It just happens. Perfect. All right. And you can see with that base of the fire being snuffed out, you can see sort of a section off to your right is sort of starting to die down and become embers, not as active of a flame.
Great. I'm going to stay here.
Perfect. Okay. Next up in the initiative is the Army of Ondale. So you guys can see these are going to be like both of the armies are just one initiative each because individual initiatives would have been a nightmare. Roll initiative for 150 soldiers. Okay. So the Army of Ondale, they are going to half of the soldiers at the cannons are going to load and aim as the other ones get ready to fire. So that is going to be for those cannons a miss, a hit,
So many
and a hit.
cannons.
So as these 5 cannons go off, 2 of them, the cannons hit directly in spots of armor that is most dense. The other ones, however, seem to hit and don't really deflect off of the armor as much, but almost like punch into the armor and make a sizable dent. And you can see it probably, that dent of the iron probably has made its way through into the wood of the ship itself. Not doing a whole ton of damage, but definitely doing something to it. So that is going to be... Pull up what these cannons do. Yeah, these cannons are fun. Okay, so that is going to be 30, 59,
No.
88.
Woo.
88
Holy
points
shit.
of damage that is reduced to 44 points. So 44 points of damage to this ship as it is rattled. And you can see sort of it vibrates the iron, and it almost makes like this deep drum noise as they bounce off. That is going to be them. And the spellcasters up top they're firing off spells, but at this moment, let me roll for that. At this moment, they're too far away. Just they don't have the range on the ship. Okay, that's going to be the Army of Ondale. Next up is March.
I would like to move closer onto the beach on the other side of that. I assume that's a rock. I would like to be on
That
the
is a
other side
rock.
of the rock
Yes,
from
so
where
if you wanna-
Kalik and Jarnen are. I believe that those are like two kind of spellcasters over there.
So as you walk down this path, you can see there is a pretty sizable boulder right in front of you. So you can walk to, that would be your right of it, to go on the other side of Kalik and Jarnen. And as you go to that other side of this huge boulder, you can see two men in the army of Ondale who are manning this cannon,
Okay,
and
got
right
it.
in front of them
Apologies,
is a
Soldier
stone
Stone
wall.
spellcaster. Okay. I would like to kind of attempt to use this boulder. I see there's like a little jutting out section of it. I kind of want to attempt to use that almost as like cover, in a sense, to sort of like duck behind that. And
Okay,
what I
for
would
sure.
like to do is get a javelin ready, but hold it. I don't want to use it at this exact moment in my life.
Okay. Are you holding it for any specific action? What is going to be the trigger for throwing
The
that
trigger for
javelin?
me is going to be these two Dwarven homies in their boat that have come ashore.
Okay. So yeah, the two that have come ashore on this side who are holding their shields up, fortifying themselves from all of this fire, but have made their way onto the beach. Cool. So if they move up any
That is
closer, you
correct,
will
yes.
throw a javelin at them. Very cool. Next up, Kalik.
I'll
What would you like?
turn to Jarnen, looking at the cannon explosion that just happened up on the hill, and say, maybe it's best if we just set him down here. Hey, I can get him up in a jiff. And I'll sort of help, if Jarnen's okay with that, help him kind of lay the soldier in a against the hill, against the inclination of the hill.
Yeah. And you can see sort of, you and Jarnen sort of have this unspoken like communication where you guys sort of can read each other. And you can see he looks up onto the hill where he was going to drag this body up that has just been impaled by a cannonball, and him realizing that dragging him this way probably isn't the best idea. So he helps you lay this guy down
And I'll
with the
swing
fortification of the wall
my
in
medical
front of you.
bag over and set to work, kneeling down over this guy's leg. I don't know if the bone's broken, but I'm going to try and put it back into place, and I'm going to go about administering a healer's kit to this soldier.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Make a medicine check. Adding your proficiency because you have
Okay.
medical kits.
Adding, okay. That is a 16.
16. Awesome. So you can see just from his injuries, it looks like he's got a couple arrows lodged into his leg. And it also looks like he was probably in direct line of fire with one of the cannons as his leg is broken. And you can see he probably took a major blast right by his leg. So you're able to set that bone back into place. And as he
I'll
is
hand
just in
him
absolute pain.
a towel from my bag and tell him to bite. Bite hard on the...
And he bites down and he is in a whole lot of pain, but you are able to stabilize him for the moment. He is no longer
Great.
he's no longer
I'll break
dying.
off the arrows, push those suckers out the other side. It's only gonna get worse, lad.
Yep.
And yeah, he regains 7 plus whatever his additional HP equal to his maximum number of hit dice. So 7 plus that is the number of HP he regains from that healer's kit.
Okay, let me see what he gets, because he's gonna be pretty close to full. Oh yeah, he pops right back up. You can see as you cast this, you can see like a dull glow from within as these embers and ashes begin to pour out from within as the wound completely heals up, and you can see his face that was sweating and frantic and panicked before now begin to calm again, and he sort of sits back up. It's going to take him a moment to completely sort of regain his composure, but for the most part, he is completely healed.
Covering this in bandage, and I'm sure Jarnen is handing me tools, and I'm cutting off the edge of it, and these ashes form to seal the sort of openings. I'll give Jarnen kind of a wink, as much as a wink as Kellic would be capable of, and I'll just say more to myself than him. I just want change, not blood. Change, not blood. All right. Do you suppose, Commander Vash, is there anywhere for this group to fall back to, Jarnen? Or is this really where you intend to die?
And Jarnen, at this point, he's looking down at the wound that you just healed, and he sort of looks up at you, curious. He goes, haven't seen that one before. But it seems that Vash is intent on staying here for as long as we can hold out. I don't know what the plan is.
I look out over to the ship and up to Shreya, who's up in the air above all the sand here. I was like, well...
Yeah.
Right, you stay safe. Seems like down here is a decently alright spot. And see what I can do about that boat. And I will... Yeah.
We seem to be covered for now.
I'll stand, and I will move up to the metal barricade, staying just behind it, looking out.
Okay, so you move up. You can see now these are 2 10-foot by 10-foot stone walls that have come up here. As you know, some of the spellcasters within the camp know like these defensive spells. So that's one of the first things in combat that they do is spellcasters go out, put up these stone walls, give themselves a fortified position, and then fall back to cast spells from the back. So you are very familiar with this tactic. Okay, that is Kellic. Next up is the army of Kaldur.
Dun, dun.
Okay.
There's so many of them.
So they have 5 soldiers on the beach currently. 2 soldiers in front of March are going to attempt to, while this cannon in front of them is reloading, they're going to attempt to rush up. They pull their shields out of the sand in their fortified position, and they attempt to run up. March, this gives you your action if you would like to take it.
I would like to
throw a
take
javelin at one of these soldiers. Okay, make an attack roll for me.
Let's see. 22.
Oh yeah, a 22 definitely hits. Even with they've got this huge shield. They've got dwarven armor. You managed to penetrate right through that armor. Roll your damage.
Haha. Max damage. 10 piercing.
Nice.
Okay. So, one of these dwarves takes the javelin right to the shoulder, and you can see he backs down and sort of takes a knee as you've halted his advance. But his partner here is going to continue rushing up towards this rock. And let me see how far he can get. Yeah, he's going to be right on the other side of that rock. Cool. These guys over here on the other boat that have beached are also going to make their way up. You can see with the amount of armor that they're wearing and with these massive shields, they are running considerably slower than most people would run. You might even say it's half speed. Okay. And then you can see the one of the commanders on the boat gives the order to fire all of these cannons as these 4 cannons on the side of the boat go off. The first one is gonna be a miss.
What's a beach's AC?
How long before the beach
for
just
D&D.
demolished?
Yeah.
The second one that is aimed at the cannons near Kellic, that is going to be a hit. The one up more that is aiming at the spellcasters up top is going to be a hit. And then the one up front is going to be a miss. So these 2 are going to be a hit. They're aiming for the 2 cannons next to Kellic. That is going to be 35 points of damage, and Kellic, you are out of the blast radius. So Kellic, you just avoid this, but you can see the sand right in front of these cannons is completely kicked up, and you can see the cannons themselves are a little bit jostled, not completely destroyed, but definitely worse for wear. The one up top that is aiming towards the spellcasters, that is going to be 30 points of damage as it hits directly in between these 2 stone walls and is able to, the blast is able to hit these 2 spellcasters as they both go down. Oma, you can see right behind you, you can feel this blast in the ground, and you turn around and you can see now 2 of the spellcasters are now laid out on their backs.
Crap.
And the entire ship, with all the soldiers, moves 5 feet closer towards the beach as they are moving closer towards docking. All right, with that, Flynn, it is your turn.
Yeah.
You are...
Oh, boy.
March has one of these bags. You have the other bag of explosives as you are coming down this.
Yeah, definitely prepared for this. Okay, so... still not sure what I want to do. I think first thing I want to know is this ship, the ramp that is there. Does it seem like there are soldiers prepared to run down it once? Because you were saying that it's inching closer, so I'm assuming it's not quite on the beachfront yet, but it looks like this is something that they're preparing to charge down it once it does dock.
Once it docks, yeah, it's probably going to take another couple rounds. As the ship is huge and they're trying to move in slowly towards the beach. So yeah, that's their plan.
Okay, so I will look at the group of soldiers who gave me the 2 satchels. Again, really quick, how big is one satchel? Like, do I think that I can carry it, just one, easily?
One satchel, you will not be impeded. 2 of them, you would definitely be.
I'll look up to these soldiers.
Since you only have one.
And hey, how do I light this? As I kind of like point to one of them, as I kind of pick it up, it's like, do you have something to light this? Because I don't.
Yeah, I've got something here, and he tosses you this small little bag that looks like it's got a fire starter set within it.
Put it in my pocket. Look at my backpack, and I'm like, I need to be fast, and I drop my backpack off, and I'll just leave it at the rock, I guess, kind of near where March is. I'll just drop it there.
Okay.
I'll pick up one of the satchels, put it on my. Does it have like a sling? Can I like shoulder it, or is it just like a bag of sand?
You can
I'll
shoulder
throw that on
yeah.
instead of my backpack, and I'll turn to the ramp, and I think I'm just gonna run for it. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna use my movement.
You want to make a sprint?
I'm gonna use my movement, and I still have my action, so I'll use that as well. I can get 50 feet if I go like in somewhat of a diagonal towards. I think I can get just past Shreya, closer to the ramp.
Yeah, let me see.
Oh, this is so stupid. Oh! It's fine. It's fine. Before I leave, can I yell out to them, do you think one of these will blow up the ramp?
It might.
Cool. As I'm running. Good enough for me.
He walks directly past me in this path, doesn't he?
Yeah, he would be sprinting past you.
I just look at him like Cal looks at an oncoming train.
I give him a wink. This is what adventuring's all about, right, Kellic?
Flynn!
Okay.
Do I hear that from the point in the sky?
Yeah, Shreya, you would have a clear view of Flynn just making a dash for it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna yell down.
Flynn, what are you doing?
And yeah, I'm a little exposed. So.
Yeah, isn't that the understatement of this?
Realizing this now.
Flynn, as you are running down this beach, you are determined, you are gung-ho, you have this satchel of explosives, you know your mission, and you are headed right towards it. As your eye line meets the ship, you see 2 cannons aimed right at you.
What I'm going to do is I would like to action surge and take the dodge action.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's my turn. That is my turn.
As
Probably
you stop,
smart.
look up at Kenneth.
Okay.
I'm like, and I kind of crouch a little bit, just like get ready to like maneuver. That's my turn. Oh, this is stupid, guys. Okay, that's my turn.
What are you doing, lad?
Okay.
Don't worry, I got this.
And Flynn, as you approach the boat and you get closer to it, you can see that the ship's armor is only protecting this side. Just this side that's towards the cannons. Do with that what you will. Next up in the initiative we're at the top of the initiative. Shreya, you see Flynn sprinting out from pretty much directly beneath you. What would you like to do?
Seeing this, as I was on a path to do something else, I see Flynn like on a what I perceive to be suicide mission. And I
Normal
take the
people are so
held-
strange in their suicide.
I
mission.
take the javelin. Yes, this is a common tactic, clearly. So I look over. So did you said there were cannons? Did they visibly shift and point toward Flynn at the point where he kind of emerged onto the?
You don't
close
see
to
them
the water?
shifting at the moment, but you can see that
They
the
didn't
dwarves
shift.
have noticed
Okay.
this little halfling running out, probably getting ready to shift the cannons.
Okay, well in that case, I'm gonna look toward whoever is like not loading the cannon, but maneuvering the cannon around the ones that would be most likely to shift toward and like anchor on him. And I'm just gonna hurl a javelin at the air to the closest. And if I need to move to do this, I will.
What's
the
your range
closest-
on those javelins?
The range on the javelins are, I think, like 30 feet. Yeah.
Okay, you've got about 60 feet between you and the javelin. You would easily be able to close that distance if you wanted to fly a little bit closer. You are also notably high up enough to where like cannons just can't reach that angle that you're
Nice.
at.
Okay.
Just as
That's
something
fantastic.
to note.
So in that case, yeah, I'm going to, not the person loading, but the person maneuvering, I'm just going to hurl, and it looks like there's one right next to the ramp that's actually kind of dead on Flynn. So I'm going to hurl a javelin at the person directing it.
Yeah, the
maneuvering
the two
cannon.
cannons most likely to be firing at Flynn would definitely be the two in the back. For sure.
Okay, great.
Cool. So yeah, make an attack roll.
Right. Oh.
A 14
14 hits?
does not hit, unfortunately.
Oh.
Maybe you startled
So
them,
that
though.
javelin zooms past them. And I'm cursing under my breath like, "Ah! Cannot lose Flynn to an idiotic turn of passion!"
That's basically Flint's life.
Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. Because these dwarves loading the cannons themselves do not have shields.
Nice.
A 14 hits.
Hey!
That is my bad. I
Oh,
forgot to take into
all
account
right.
that they don't have shields.
Nice. Get him.
Yeah, so roll the damage.
All
for
right.
Murder.
Cool. That is
5 points of piercing
points
damage.
Piercing damage
Okay.
for that particular dwarf.
Awesome. You hit him as he is loading the cannonball, and I'm going to make a Constitution check for him.
Ooh. Nice.
He fails that with a 9 as he drops the
Yes!
cannonball by his side. It's probably going to take him around to go and pick that up and completely reload the
Nice
cannon.
one. Nice one, Shreya.
I've got your back, little one.
Thanks.
All right. Next up in the initiative, Shreya, actually, you've only used about half of your movement. You're now directly over
that's
like
true.
where the water meets the sand. Would you like to move? Or finish your movement?
I would like to finish my movement and move toward the stern of the ship.
For sure.
The back end. And see if I can. I haven't gotten around it to be able to get an angle on how I perceive like what the back looks like, but at some point I've already used action, but I'm looking down towards the back.
As you're sort of moving out over towards the back of the ship, you're just able to sort of crest that corner and see that the back of the ship is completely unprotected. It's just the side of the ship that has this iron armor on it. Okay, next up is Olma.
Oh.
At this
Yes.
point, your the section of flame that you had doused has made a considerable a dent in this fire itself.
Okay, do I see anything under it? Do I see anything new now that there's less fire?
Make a perception check.
$11.
11. Looking in, in the area that you just doused, you can just see a bit of an arm coming out from underneath the rubble.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna try to put more fire out.
Okay. So you take another 5 foot by 5 foot cube, and it douses another full section as you're sort of taking out the base of this fire. Another section begins to die down.
Do I see any more of a person?
It seems that they're not consumed by the fire as much as they are like underneath the rubble. It's more like the rubble and the wood itself is covering them, not as much the fire.
Do I only see one person?
You just see one arm. It goes underneath the rubble. It's not like a detached
Right.
arm. It goes underneath the rubble.
Can I run in and try to pull the person out?
Yeah, you could run up. It is going to be an action to try and pull them out.
Okay, so I'll get closer.
Okay, you are now right up on this person. You can assess sort of what the rubble looks like.
Okay.
All right. Next up in the initiative is Ondale. So they are going to fire all of their cannons once more. That is going to be a hit on the first one.
Nice.
A miss on the second one.
No.
Miss on the third one. Hit on the fourth
Hey.
one. So it's 2 hits and 2 misses. They are
What about
still
the fifth
aimed
one?
at the boat. There's a 5th one. That's a miss. So 2 of them hit. That is going to be... Ooh, that's going to be 70 points
Let's
of damage,
go.
reduced to 35 as they hit the armor of the ship. Now, the spellcasters up on the ridge, there are only 2 of them left. They are going to both attempt to shoot fire bolts at these dwarves that are running up the beach now. You will give me a second here. Okay. That is going to be... Roll the hit on these guys. That's a hit for the first one and a hit for the second
Nice.
one. Okay. Going to be 9 points and 10 points of damage as they hit 2 of these dwarves. All right, cool. That is going to be their turn. Next up in the initiative is March.
Okay, so I am going to kind of have been lugging this along, or lugging the explosives along. I've thrown my javelin at the one door, and I kind of turn around and quickly realize that Flynn is no longer behind me, as I had definitely thought he was. How tall is this boulder that I'm sort of attempting to use as cover? I'm trying to determine if I will have been able to see Flynn try and kill himself.
It's pretty big. It's probably
okay, so I wouldn't have
10
been
or
able
12
to
feet
see
high.
over it. So I now have absolutely zero idea.
You would not have
where
had
the
line of
hell
sight,
Flynn is.
You do see one of the satchels missing.
Yeah,
though.
I've got the one satchel. I have no idea where Flynn went. I would like to try and cast command on the 2 dwarves in front of me.
Yeah.
The 2 dwarves.
Nice.
You will.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to
Nice.
try.
Command, can that affect 2 creatures, or is that just
When
one
you
creature?
cast the spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, you can affect 1 additional creature for each slot level above first. The creatures must be within
Okay,
30
so-
feet of each other when you target them.
They definitely are within 30 feet of each other. So do you have
Yeah.
a 2nd level
Nice.
spell slot?
No, I don't.
Crap.
Ah.
Okay. Well, it was a good idea. It was a good idea at the time, guys.
You can command
great
one of them.
What I would
Still
like to do
great,
is
yeah.
I would like to command the single dwarf then who is not injured.
Okay. And I believe you get a 1-word command. What would that word be?
Let's go with halt.
Okay, so is that a roll for me to save against?
It says it's an attack/save.
It's a wisdom.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Yes.
So what am I-
I'm gonna scream over the border. Kalik, tell me how to use this.
So what is that wisdom going to be?
Not very high. Just 11.
11?
I'm gonna try.
Well, he's got a +0 to wisdom, and he rolled a 4.
Woo!
So you can see as he's sprinting
Go.
towards you, like in the middle of his sprint,
Yay.
he just comes to a complete stop and sort of a glazed look over his eyes as you command him to halt.
Yes.
Cool. Then
Awesome.
I would like to now. Oh, this is such a bad idea, but Flynn's making bad choices. I can make bad choices too, right? Can I still use my movement to come up on the other side of the boulder and now be pretty much within range of them?
Yeah, so you want to move towards these dwarves that are in front of you?
I do.
Or sort of around the rock?
Yeah, around the rock so that now I'm not really hidden because I'm.
Cool. Would you like to be right up in combat with them, or would you like to stay back?
Slightly like one back.
One back.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much there, like next to this cannon, which is probably another terrible idea I'm making right now. But still within a decent kind of range of them. Now, with this movement, will I now have eyesight on Flynn?
You would now have line of sight on Flynn. Yes.
Okay. So then I'm gonna kind of just realize where Flynn is, what he's doing, and that he is absolutely insane. So now Flynn is, how far away is Flynn from me now?
Oh, Flynn is,
pretty,
I'm going
uh,
to say
hot
50
distance,
feet.
right?
50 feet about. Yeah.
50 feet? If
Yeah.
Flynn is 50 feet from me, can I also do a bonus action?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so now I'm going to have done command on this one crazy whatever the hell I just did. Haven't done that in a while. I'm going to have run around this boulder. I'm kind of at this angle of the one guy is now, he's halted. The other one's still got my javelin embedded in his shoulder. And I'm going to see Flynn. Realizing he's within 50 feet, I am going to use my bonus action to create a shimmering field and cast Shield of Faith on Flynn.
Okay. Are either of those spells as bonus actions, are either of those cantrips?
No.
No, they're both full spells?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the only way that you can cast 2 spells in a turn is if one of them is a cantrip and then the other one is a bonus action spell.
Then I'm going to just have Sparkly like, oh, never mind, can't do that. Forgot I couldn't do that. And then just yell, Flynn! What the hell are you doing? And
What? Cool stuff.
I was
Sorry
trying
about that.
to-
It's a
No,
great
no.
idea, but
Sorry, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I was trying
no,
to
it's all good.
be all fanciful. Yeah, I'm just gonna yell at Flynn and be like, I had a plan. We were gonna go to I was gonna use the boat to go to, never mind. Just protect yourself. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
That is all. And I'm very confused with my life right now.
Amidst the booming sounds of cannons.
Yeah.
Um,
You understood
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Next up
Yeah, I
is
got me fine.
Kalik. You are behind
Whoa.
these 2 stone walls. Cannons on either side of you. What would you like to do?
I don't know. I can see the three on that are coming up on the eastern side.
Yeah.
Southeastern portion of the thing. Okay. How close does the main boat? Has it been moving, and can I tell like how long we have until it docks, until we're they're unloading all
You
these
probably
soldiers?
have 2 rounds until the dock hits the beach itself, and they can start unloading.
Okay. What's the water? Forgive me. Bear
Yeah.
with me. What's the water look like around the boat? Like, what is the conditions of the aquatic region?
Yeah, so the river looks to be moving normally. So on this in this battle, the river is sort of moving against the boat, but the ship has its sails fully up, so the wind is taking it back up. So it's sort of stationary. The wind is propelling it in one way while the river is propelling it in another way.
And does the water is pretty much clear? Like, this is like a pretty like wide open span of
Yeah.
the river. I have ideas, but they're not gonna work. Does it look like I can make whatever kind of check I need to make? Does it look like when this I don't know what the contraption looks like that would unload these soldiers, or if they're just gonna hop off?
It looks
or
like a
whatever?
ramp, like a wooden ramp.
Okay, and can I estimate where or whether or not it will offset the balance of the ship to open up this ramp? Because it's got this big armored side.
Yeah,
to it.
it's a pretty heavy ramp meant for loading and unloading troops. It'll probably shift the weight of the boat a little bit. You're not exactly sure how much.
Okay, well, as I'm assessing all of this,
Okay.
I will run. I don't know if I can make it quite to that set of rocks on the eastern side of the map here,
Let's see.
but I will attempt to make it over in that direction.
Yeah, you can make it just behind this rock that's over here by the cannon.
All right, and then I would like to be within 30 feet of those 3 gentlemen, if possible.
Yeah, so if you move just up against this rock, you can sort of peer out
Okay.
from the side, and you are within 30 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna sprint across that gap to this rock, slamming into the side of it. And I turn the corner. I'll just say, "Bear with me here. We can make this work. You and me." And I will say, "Debilite," and I will cast Bane on these 3 soldiers walking up.
Okay, are you going to need a save?
Nice.
That is a charisma save.
Charisma save. Let's see what they've got for charisma. +0. So that's going to be a 16, a 19, and a 5.
Ah. Okay, 5 fails. The other guys do great. That makes a lot of sense.
Do you, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll,
So he gets that 1d4 against all of his rolls, basically.
okay. Cool. So that was your movement and your action. Do you have a bonus action?
No.
Next up in the initiative is Kaldur.
Darn.
Okay. So let's go with the soldiers on the beach first. One of them is completely halted. The other one, injured, is going to run up towards March and is going to attempt to attack you with his battle axe. March, that is going to be a 14 to hit.
No. Nope.
No, that doesn't
Nice
hit.
try.
But
Nice.
you're so cute.
Shoot. Okay, and the other one does not get an action as he is halted. These guys
Nice.
are still, the guys on the other side of the beach are still going to be making a mad dash for the cannons. So, they would be able to get over there using their movement and their action, as they have this really heavy armor on. So they just have their movement and their action to get the full distance to that cannon. And then the fun part, the cannons that are aimed at Flynn. So One of them,
Here we
We've
go.
all been waiting.
Here we go.
one of them, the dwarf that was holding the cannonball, runs over to the deck, grabs the cannonball, and as the commander on the dwarven boat gives the command to fire, this dwarf just isn't ready. He's still running back towards the cannon, and he can't get it loaded in time. So one of these cannons is
Nice, Raya.
decommissioned at the moment. The other one
Yes.
is still going to aim at Flynn.
At disadvantage.
I could die.
Right? Oh.
No, I have advantage on the save. But yeah,
That is
basically.
going to be for the cannon. Oh, come on, where is it?
Oh, if he rolls, then it's disadvantaged.
That is a 17 to hit.
Okay, and it was a disadvantage
No, it wasn't.
because I did dodge.
Oh, that's a 21 on the second roll.
Okay, I think 17 hits though.
Oh.
Well, bye guys.
No.
Uh-oh.
The other one did 35 points of damage. I don't have 35 hit points, so I'm probably gonna die.
Okay, this is it.
All right, hit me with it.
Do you have shield? Can you shield it?
Oh yeah. Wait, what was it to roll?
A 17 and
at
a 21
disadvantage, right?
It was a 17, 21.
was at disadvantage.
Okay, so a 17. Yeah, shield.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see, I rub my fingers together with the blue as I'm standing there, and I wave my hand up, and you see the arc of blue kind of cover over me, and the cannonball bounces
Yes,
off.
it does.
All right.
Whoa.
Flynn, just out of curiosity, how many hit points do you have?
Total, I have 32. That's my full HP.
All right.
Oh my god.
Cool.
V cannon.
All right. Well, we still have the other two cannons left.
Bring it.
They are going to. Well, the first one is going to keep its fire on these two cannons that were near Kalek originally. The other one is going to adjust its fire. It's going to aim. It's actually going to aim at both of those cannons as well. So they're both going to go towards that main section of cannons right at the base of the hill. That is going to be a miss, and both of them are going to miss. So both of them whiz by both of the cannons and actually impact this cliff face and bury themselves deep within the rock itself. Cool.
Nice.
That is going to be
Nice,
Kaldur's
nice.
turn. Next up, Flynn. Just having miraculously saved yourself with this shield, what would you like to do?
I kind of look at my hand like, huh, I almost forgot I had that. And, geez, oh man. Okay, so let's see. Can I use my movement to get up to the ramp? How heavy is this thing? Can I feel like how far I can
It would
throw
definitely be a strength check for you. It is about 20 pounds. It's a pretty decent size. You
So
could
it's pretty
probably
heavy.
lug it if you really wanted to.
Yeah. Okay, so I probably want to get right up next to this thing.
You're only 20 feet away from the start of the ramp. You would have to sort of step a couple of steps into the water itself, but you are 20 feet away from the ramp.
And if I get like right up next to the ramp, it would be pretty
It would
easy
be
to
very
just tuck
easy.
it up
You
on
wouldn't
top
have to
of
make
the
a
ramp.
strength check if you're right next to it.
Okay, then let's do it. I want to try and I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna run right up there. I'm gonna get right up to it so
Do
I
it,
can
bud,
just
do it.
heave ho it right up to the center of the ramp and blow this thing up. I'll pull out the fire starter thingy. I'll light the satchel, and and look up at the ramp and be like, "Oh, this will be a cool story." And phew, toss it up over there and toss it up on the.
Okay, so you toss it
on
up.
the thing.
Not sure of how long the fuse is. Would you like to stay there? You still have 10 feet of movement. Or you're 25, right? So you still have 5 feet of movement.
I didn't ask how long the fuse would take to explode. Sure, I'm gonna back away. I used my action to hook it up there.
I'm going to say that lighting it and throwing it up there are going to be your action and bonus action.
Yep, that's fair. I will use the rest of my 5 feet of movement to safely move 5 feet back. That's probably safe, right?
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah,
good.
sure.
Cool. That is my turn.
Sure.
Yeah, you're not sure how long this fuse is gonna. Like you chucked it, and you didn't really have enough time to see how quickly the fuse was dying down. So
Yeah, I wasn't focused on that at all. I
guess
was like, oh
we
man,
will
cannons,
see.
light.
Next
bro.
up, Shreya.
Yeah.
Flynn just chucked this thing on board, and you are looking out towards sort of the end of the ship.
And I wasn't privy to any of those conversations, so it just looks like it looks like he just put something on the ramp. From
You saw me light
oh,
something.
okay.
and then
Would
throw
I
it
have
over
been
there.
able to see him like spark a flame from that distance?
I was gonna say, make what would it be?
I think I yelled at you that I was going to go blow up the ramp. I think I yelled that at you.
I think you yelled it to the folks you were passing as you were passing them. I think I was already up at that point
I'm gonna have you, Shreya. I'm just gonna have you make a straight intelligence check,
to see if I can put.
just to see if you have a general grasp of the situation.
Okay.
Intelligence, or I would also say wisdom, just whichever
wisdom.
one you would like.
All right. That is. I'd rather do that. Oh, natural 20, 24. Jeez.
Yeah. So you
Hey!
heard Flynn shouting his plan, and you also know that what he's holding is an explosive. Yeah. That roll was mainly for, like, you probably wouldn't know what an explosive is.
Right.
So just knowing what he's doing. Yeah, you know exactly what he's doing. You know exactly what his plan is.
All right. Putting those pieces together and marveling at the bravery of this little one. I'm going to. Oh, one quick question before I do that. Seeing as I've put the pieces together of the fire and the explosion and the strength that this could possibly, like the damage this could possibly do, I'm going to look down at the cannons and the iron wall on the ship. What is the architecture of the wall in relationship to the cannons? Are they connected to the cannons? Do they come out from an opening in the wall? Like, how do they link together, as it were?
So the iron armor encompasses the entire side of the ship, and it comes up to the railing of the ship. Where the cannons are situated, there are 4 cannons on the top deck of this thing. So where the cannons are, both the railing as well as the armor sort of dips down into a U shape to allow for these cannons to poke out.
Are they resting on a surface that is connected to the wall, or are they kind of like free floating in the middle?
They seem to be free floating.
They seem to be free.
They're not directly attached to the armor.
Okay. Are there any points of are there any holes to fire arrows or something out through the wall itself? Or is it just...
You can see up towards the front, there are 4 dwarves who are firing arrows just up over this railing.
Over it, okay.
But there are not any little specified cubby holes to fire through. It seems like all of the action is just happening on this top deck of the ship. There doesn't seem to be anything coming out from below decks.
Okay. I'm going to survey the top deck of the ship.
Okay.
Do I see any attachments, masts? Is this a sailing ship? Does it have
Yes, it has a main mast, and then up front there's a secondary mast.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is can I see a helm? Can I see a steering wheel at all?
Yes, there is one near the back.
Okay. Can I glean the type of material the steering wheel is made of from this distance?
It's all wood.
All wood.
It's all wood. It's
Okay.
got some iron bands within it, just holding it all together, but the bulk of it is wood.
Okay.
It has some metal banding to hold it together.
So what I'm gonna do, as I'm marveling at how big, having put the pieces together, at how big this explosion could be, with the ramp currently outstretched, I think to myself, I have a terrible image of this explosion kind of consuming Flynn, and I think to myself, and the crystal starts to pulse, and I say,
Gods of the air, give me strength.
and as I do that, this tremble of wind just sort of starts to blow across the land, and everything then suddenly goes still. And then from out of nowhere, this cone of wind emanates from me and just shoots into the back sail of the boat as I cast Gust of Wind.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Could you read for me exactly what that does
Yeah,
so I can
sure.
best apply it to the ship?
A line of strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide blasts from you in a direction you choose, so in this case, the sail. Each creature that starts its turn in line must succeed on a strength saving throw, be pushed 15 feet away. That probably doesn't apply since it's going through the air above all these dwarves.
Yeah.
And then any creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement. Now it does extinguish any flames that are in the cone, but since I'm casting this so high up, I don't think that would affect the fuse.
Oh, it definitely would not affect the fuse.
Okay.
No, if you're aiming it directly towards this sail, yeah, it wouldn't. So, let me. I'm going to do something a little bit weird here. I'm going to make a strength check for the boat, just to see how much.
Make a boat saving throw.
How much it's going to be pushed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a 2. So, Shreya, as you cast Gust of Wind, the entirety of the boat that has been lurching towards the beach, just the direction that you cast it and with the amount of force that it has, the boat is pushed back in the opposite direction away from the beach. And it is now...
Yeah, so like Flynn
Get
throws it up there, throws the satchel up there, and then like takes his 5 feet, he steps back, he's like, and then he looks up and sees Shreya use this massive spell to like push the boat away, and he's like, whoa, Shreya, that's freaking cool!
So it both rotates as well as is pushed back, completely negating all of the movement that it has taken over these last couple rounds, and is pushed away from the beach. Flynn, you are now 10 feet away from this explosive instead of 5 feet.
I told you I had your back.
All right. Shreya, do you want to move at all?
Yeah, so I'm going to make my way. I'm going to descend toward the boat, but toward the very rear of it. And I'm looking for... I don't know what the stern of this boat looks like. If there are any like cabins or windows facing out, I'm just trying to take a look-see inside and see what I can see on the stern of the boat.
Yeah. So once you get there, there is actually a couple panes of glass to look inside. The glass isn't that easy to look through, so it would probably take your next turn in order to look at that.
Okay, great. That's my turn.
Cool.
Yeah.
Big one, just moving the whole boat out of the way. Okay, next up is Olma.
I'm gonna try to pull the body out.
Okay. Looking down at this arm that just has a bunch of ash and stuff all over it, I'm going to have you make a strength check.
Oh, rolled a 2. That's a 3.
That's a 3. You begin to pull this body out, and as it just moves a little bit, you can see that the wood around it becomes unstable and might collapse even further as you're trying to pull this out.
Yeah, so I'm like tugging and tugging and tugging and tugging and tugging. Kellic! There's somebody down here! And that's my turn.
Okay. Kellic, you are within earshot of her if you would like to respond to that at all on your turn.
I hear it.
Next up is going to be Ondale. So, let's see. So the spellcaster's up top. I am actually going to say that Olma, this spellcaster right here, is going to hear your cry out for Kellic, see that you're sort of doing something over here, is going to come over towards you and sees that there's sort of this arm laying out on the ground, And he's going to like try and get ready to go over and sort of put his hands underneath some of this wood and lift up, sort of preparing to lift up as you pull for the next round.
Cool.
Yeah. The other spellcaster cannot see these guys on the beach. So 4 of these cannons are going to go off towards the ship. It's going to be a miss on the first one, a miss on the second one, a hit on the third one, and a hit on the fourth one.
Okay.
So 2 of them hit. That is going to be 63 points of damage. So the first one, again, makes another dent into this iron armor on the ship. And then the other cannon hits almost directly where the other one hit and seems to burst through and actually make its way through the ship, dealing a little bit of extra damage. So that is going to be that. Cool. And then the dwarves that have been storming the beach have made their way up to the cannon. So these cannon guys are going to abandon their cannon, take out their short swords, and they're going to attempt to take swings at the dwarves. Try and do a little bit of damage. It's going to be a 19 and another 19. Okay, so they both hit. That is going to be... be 12 and 13 points of damage as they bury their short swords pretty deep into these dwarves, doing a hefty amount of damage. Cool. And these dwarves over here look very, very damaged. Okay. That is it for the army of Ondale. Next up is March. March, you see right in front of you, you've got these this cannon to your right and these 2 dwarves right in front of you. One of them is sort of shaking his head and coming out of his the command spell that you had him under. That lasts for 1 round, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then you've also got the other one who totally just whiffed his swing.
Which one is the one that's already been injured? Is that the one directly in front of me, or is that the one behind?
The one that's directly in front of you.
Okay. This is gonna be a weird question, but I'm just curious. Am I able to remove my javelin that is in his shoulder?
You can try,
and
yeah.
reuse it?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to say sure.
Pull it out and put it right back in the same hole.
As a free action, I'm going to have you make a strength check against his dexterity.
Okay. I feel really weird. I know that's the most bizarre thing I've ever asked. It's 17.
He rolled a 7 on his dexterity.
Okay.
So yeah, you reach up and pull this thing out. I'm actually going to say he takes 4 points of damage.
Nice.
As you rip this thing out of his shoulder.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you now have your javelin back.
Cool. I have my javelin back. Is that my action, or can I can still do something, correct?
No. You. I'm going to say that was your bonus action.
Great. Then I'm going to take that javelin, and I feel really bad, but they did try and swing at me. I'm going to take that javelin, put that back, and whip out my warhammer. A little bit mad that he tried to swing at me, and I'm going to try and aim. It's going to be a little bit of a lower because he's a dwarf, correct? So I'm going to try and...
That is correct.
It's going to be kind of like an underhand sort of swing up towards...
Okay.
I'm attempting to aim for his chest. But in the event that it hits, it might end up hitting his head. I don't know. He's short. I'm tall. I apologize. So
okay. Make that attack roll.
Okay. Oh, shit. That's a 25.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Roll damage.
Okay. Roll damage. That is going to be 9 points of bludgeoning.
Nice. Do you have a second attack?
I don't.
I only get one.
I really wish that I did, because I would have liked to also hit up the other dude, but no, I only get 1 attack per action.
Okay. You swing and it hits him right in the chest, and it completely knocks the wind out of him, as this thing was a solid hit. Cool. Do you want to use your movement to go anywhere, or are you engaged with these guys?
I would like to use my movement, but I suppose that means that they're going to then get...
One of them will get an attack of opportunity on you if you wanted to move away from them.
I do want to move slightly away from them. I want to jump on the other side of them, where that boulder is, and now there's that smaller... Yeah. Can I go one over to the right?
Yeah, so the one that you were engaged with right there, he would take an attack of opportunity on you.
That's fine.
You okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
Okay.
I just my idea is to get away from the cannon as much as I can.
That is a 22 to hit as you move past him.
Fine. He hits me.
And that's going to be 8 points of slashing damage as his battle axe swings around and sort of slices up your back as you attempt to move out.
Okie dokie. That's fine with me.
All right. Next up is Kellic.
All right. Here in Olma's cry for aid, I will look out at the ship as it's been pushed away, and I'll look up at the hill next to me. Look back out of the ship. Fine, Olma! And I will try to scale this hill next to me. It looks
Oh,
jeez.
Okay, yeah.
all right.
yeah.
It would... I'm going to have you make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Roll high.
Scale this thing.
13.
13. It would take your full movement, but you will be able to get up there.
Okay, I will do that.
Lead with the good arm.
Yeah.
So you have these wall barriers right in front of you. You can just see around the front side of them in order to see Olma. So you do have line of sight on her, but you sort of have to lean over.
All right. Can I see the body that she's pulling on?
Yeah, she's working on pulling this body out. It's pretty easy to see at this point.
All right. Then I will whisper Nundum and cast Spare the Dying on the body on the off chance that there's any life left in this creature.
Okay. Can you just read for me what that does?
Yep. It is the creature becomes stable, spells no effect on undead or contracts. And it normally is touch, but because I am a grave cleric, I can cast it at a 30-foot range.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Luckily, the soldier was not completely dead. They were just unconscious.
There we go.
And they are now stable as Olma is pulling out. Olma, you can sort of feel some of the muscles tense for a moment and then go limp again as this added life is being brought back to him.
He's alive! He's alive!
Good looking out, Olma. And I will... That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Cool. Next up is Kaldur.
Here we go.
Oh, right. I'm still right in front of the ship. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
So, because the ship has been completely pushed off of their course, all of the shots from the cannons are now going to be at disadvantage, as they are no longer online with their targets.
Cool.
Yeah.
First off, however, we're going to let's see what the guys on the beach are doing. So these two over by March, they're both gonna. Actually, this guy just got a hit on you, so he's gonna continue pursuing. He's gonna take a step towards you, and he's gonna swing with his battle axe once more. That is gonna be a 6 to hit.
No.
Or I'm
Ouch.
sorry, that's gonna be a 10 to hit. My bad. Then the other guy is also going to move up, not very happy with the fact that you commanded him to halt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to take a swing And that is also going to be a 10, 2 6s in a row. So they both reach out, and you sort of duck in one way and then duck in the other way, completely dodging these guys' attacks. Next up, we're going to have these 3 over by this cannon. They're going to take a couple swings at these cannon soldiers. One of them has Bane, so it's going to be with a miss. The one that was baned is a miss. All 3 of them miss. Good
Ew.
Lord.
Here we go.
Okay, all 3 of them completely miss as these guys sort of step behind the cannon and find a good spot just out of reach of these dwarves. Cool. The next up, these cannons are going to fire all at disadvantage. All of them are now, once again, operational. That was a natural 20 for one of them, but it's a miss with disadvantage.
Wait, who are you aiming at right now?
God.
So the one furthest back is aiming at the cannons in the back still, the Ondale cannons. The second one that is aiming at Flynn is going to be at disadvantage. That's an 18 and an 11.
11 misses. Okay.
Okay. The 2 in the front, it's going to be a 14 and a natural 1.
Is that a me?
No, that is up towards the ridge.
Ooh, okay.
Up top. And then that's going to be a 3 and a 2.
Yeah.
All right.
All 4 of them miss as their targets are now no longer in the spot that they once were.
Most
Yeah,
powerful
no
gust of
kidding.
wind
Giant.
Great.
in the history of D&D.
The gods have been
yeah.
with it.
Did
Ow.
Yeah.
all of them, every single Kaldor soldier missed on that round.
No way.
There wasn't a single hit. Okay. Flynn,
Yeah.
you've got this explosive up there. You don't know when it's going to go off.
No one's.
What would you like to do?
No one's on the ramp, right? They're like still waiting.
It seemed that they were waiting for it to actually touch down on the
Okay.
beach to run down.
Oh, cool. I mean, I guess I run, right, guys? Just run away. Yeah.
Unless you want a 1v1
Yeah.
battleship.
I'm fast. No, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run the hell away. So I'm gonna use my movement to move towards. Do I know where March is? Do I see her when I turn around to look at the
Yeah, you can-
battlefield?
You've got line of sight. You can see March
Yeah.
in combat with 2 dwarves.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna just do 25 feet towards her.
Okay.
Like straight diagonal towards her. Yeah, 25 feet, and then
Yeah, you can get like right there.
okay. And then I will. Can I get to her with my? If I dash, can I get to her? Like next to her?
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna dash, get right up next to her, and as I run up, hey, March! I dodged 2 cannon shots, and there's a explosive on the ramp. Oh, hey, you're fighting people. Okay, and I bonus action summon my sword.
Okay, you
Nice.
now have your sword in your hand. As you're explaining that, you hear behind you
Here we go.
a huge
Oh my
explosion.
God.
Yeah, I put this way.
I'm gonna
As this
try
thing
to respond and go,
explodes-
where? And then it's just
A plume of smoke
Yeah.
behind Flynn. As
So now is the fun part where I get to see how much damage this thing does.
Blow up the ramp.
So
Blow up the ramp.
the radius is 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh,
That's a
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
radius.
You were just carrying that, Flynn. No big
no,
deal.
it's still
Oh,
You were
going.
just going, oh my
Hey,
God.
hey, good thing I
A 35
ran away.
foot
I'm so glad you ran away.
radius
Yeah, me too.
explosion
Oh boy.
happens. We're going to see how much damage this thing does.
Woo! Yes,
Okay.
we are.
all right.
I don't think I have
My
to roll
God.
to hit on this. I think it's an automatic.
They'll be okay on the ship,
Hit.
right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Flynn, we gotta save people. Kills all of Kaldor's army.
Today, I mean, they're the enemy, I guess. So whatever.
Guess we
Yeah, no
gotta
kidding.
dodge.
Okay, and because the most of the boat is wood, it's important to note that this damage is doubled.
Yo! Did I just sink the
Um,
ship? Holy crap!
Holy shit.
That is going to be 82 points of explosive damage doubled to 164
Oof. Just
as the fire and the smoke dies down. You guys can now see a hole just deep into the ship. It is now completely taking on water. Everyone on board has been knocked down and thrown prone as the ship is now completely sinking into the water.
It looks like 3 of the cannons were in that as well. So there's only one.
Yeah.
Wow.
One cannon is now operational, but its users.
Ain't nobody loading that.
Its
cannon.
users are now. Yeah. The one has. Yeah, he's been caught in the explosion. He is long gone. And yeah, everyone else on the ship that has not been directly affected by the blast has been knocked prone.
So that blows up, and then Marshall and I just, whoa! And I look back, and I'm like, oh,
Okay,
it worked!
just quickly look at Flynn and go, we're carrying these things? I've got one left.
I have a lighter if you want to light it.
No, let's get this back to the person it belongs to immediately. Holy shit. And then I'm
let's
also
take care of
gonna
you guys first.
sneakily high five.
Yeah.
Okay, Flynn and Shreya, you guys are both just out of the impact radius of the shockwave that's come out, so you guys don't have to make any saves.
Oh, there's a
to be thrown
shockwave
prone.
as well.
There's a shockwave.
But of course.
Of course.
Cool. So that's that. Flynn, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think I'll end it there. So I just have my sword out, and I'm gonna help march with these two. That's my turn.
Okay.
Everybody's sword drops as they see a giant explosion.
Next up
Just
is
casually doing
Shreya.
162 points at level 3. No big deal.
As you do.
As you do, fighters, right?
Shreya, you got a great front row seat to this explosion. What would you like to do?
Can I see, because I was pivoting myself toward the stern. You said there were a few windows. Did the shockwave take out any of those windows?
All of the windows are completely shattered.
They're blown. Okay, great.
Completely blown out.
Destruction.
All right. Well, in that case, I am going to move toward them. I'm going to attempt to board the boat through the windows.
What are you doing?
All right. As the ship is going down right now, it's at about an 8-degree decline. As it's starting to go down, but you can easily go in and land in there. As soon as you land, you notice no one is down here. It seems that everyone is up on the upper deck.
Okay. How much movement was it to get in? That was
that would have been, how much movement do you have flying? I need
60
to ask that again.
flying, and then walking is
It would have been half your
25, but I
movement.
did half of it. Okay, great. So then maybe I have another 10 to 15-ish feet. Because I want to investigate the interior of this boat, of this ship.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, make an investigation check for me.
Great. That is a 13.
13. All right, so looking around, you're kind of frantic. The ship just exploded. You don't have very much time. But you can see on a desk there, you can see a series of papers and battle plans. And you can also see on the desk is a little golden wax stamp. One of those gold, it almost looks like a pawn in chess. That's meant for stamping wax onto official letters. And yeah, that's all you can investigate at this time.
I'm going to grab the battle plans, grab the little stamper, and if there's anything else, if I could find, I don't know if I see a ship's log or a scroll, or if I can find anything like that. Whatever's on the desk, I'm just going to stuff as many papers into my...
As you're looking at it real quick, you do see in these battle plans and papers troop movements, logs, stuff like that is definitely in here. You also see off in the corner as you are sort of filling your bag with these, you see a warhammer just sort of perched up against the wall there.
Do I have the wherewithal to grab that and take it with me before? Like, how heavy is it?
It's pretty heavy. It wouldn't impede your movement at all.
Okay.
But it's got some good weight to it.
Grab that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if that's all my movement, then that's my turn. I'm still in the ship right now.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. So you can have all of that stuff. All right. That was
I have a quick
Shreya.
question.
Yes.
While he's in the cabin, is it like kind of when half of a building is like exposed and you just see out into the open, or is he completely enclosed and is half of it just like blown off?
The part of the ship that's exploded, you mean?
Yeah, is that like part of the cabin's kind of blown off too, so he can kind of just see out?
Yeah, he could clearly see the beach from where he
That's
is.
awesome.
Yeah, daylight is just pouring into this room that normally doesn't have daylight in it.
Oh, it's so cool.
Okay, Olma.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the guy out with my friend. Who's helped me.
Make a strength check at advantage now.
Natural 20.
Boom.
Nice.
Let's go.
Okay, so with the help of this guy, he's lifting up some of the beams. You, as soon as he lifts up the beams, you easily pull this guy out, and you look at him, and you can see he begins to start breathing. And then he rolls over onto his side and just starts coughing up ash and all of this smoke that has entered his lungs. And he looks up at you, and he's got just his eyes are all swollen up from being in this rubble and this fire. And he sort of is squinting and looking at you.
You're gonna be okay.
Thank you. I thought I was going to die.
Well, no one else knew you were under there, so you very well could have. But you're not.
Thank you. I don't know what to, I thought I was dead. I thought I was, and you can see sort of some tears coming to his eyes.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm glad you're here.
Okay. Is that, Oma, you have movement. Is that all you want to do? Do you want to move anywhere?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay with him. I'm gonna
Okay.
help him. And I mean, I obviously see that there was a giant explosion, and I'm very concerned by that. But I'm more wrapped up in my own thing.
Okay. Cool. Next up is the army of Ondale. Commander Vash, seeing that this is happening, immediately gets all of his troops concentration and orders them to fire on this open section of the boat.
Oh no, Shreya.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So we'll see what happens here. That's going to be a natural 20. That's going to be a miss. That's going to be a hit, and a miss. Okay. So now I get to roll a whole bunch of damage for this. Shreya, as these cannonballs are bursting through the side of the ship, I'm going to have you make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Whoop whoop. All right. Let's see. Dexterity saving throw. Yeah, I don't have any bonus for that. Fuck. That's a 12.
A 12?
Oh no.
Okay. A 12 is just enough to dodge out of the way. You can see, you sort of look out as you hear Commander Vash's order to fire. You look out and you can see all of these cannons aiming right towards the section of the boat where you're exploring. And you just jump back out of the way as these cannonballs now don't hit the armor at all, but are ripping through this boat. And over the course of the next round or so, this boat completely sinks into the water, and all of the occupants are beginning to abandon ship as this thing is going down. As the ship is sinking into the water, the dwarves are abandoning ship. Shreya, you've had your discovery here. March and Flynn, you guys are still in combat with a couple of dwarves, but that is where we're going to end this session. with
God.
this ship going down.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We survive it.
Having completely destroyed this ship. That is where we're going to end. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see y'all again next week. Bye, nerds.
bye, nerds.
Bye,
Bye, nerds. Save us.
Yay, verily. Hey, everybody, this is Shane. I play Kellock on the podcast, and I also score and edit all of our episodes. And I also really, really, really appreciate you listening. Thanks so much for taking the time. It's a ton of fun putting this podcast together, but it's also a ton of work. So it means the world to me to have folks like yourself listening. Thank you so much. You may have heard it last episode, but we're now partnering with D&D Beyond to give away free digital dice sets for you to use in your own adventures and minisodes and campaigns, and maybe you're just having trouble deciding something. I don't know. You just want to roll a die on the internet. It's totally up to you. If you are interested in that, all you have to do to enter is head to our giveaway link in our bio, and you can choose how you'd like to enter and how many times. I assume as many as possible, but that's up to you. Good luck, and we'll see you again next week. Bye, nerds.